Hey, welcome back YouTube to more MSQ playthrough, and we are finally getting back to the nitty and gritty that is the main scenario. I feel like our fetch quest storyline has come to an end, so that's fantastic. Let's go ahead and pop into it and speak with Grahatia. The reactor is housed within this facility. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire aether output. When I do, a rather large amount of water aspected aether will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this to attract at least a few elementals, which we would both rather not be drawn into the reactor itself, trust me. Can I ask that you put down any that draw too near? They'll pose you little trouble, I'm sure. Wait here, if you would. Did everything go smoothly out here? I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water aether appears to be venting properly. I expect Coco will have seen a difference in his forged flames by the time I return. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Part of this I shared with everyone, yet you and only you have been to Elpis. As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Alag, of the Empire's twilight years, in fact. It was a material which saw much use as a part of the Allagan's efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world, Dalamud, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who would push further, expand Alag's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above, perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist, Ammon. Did he remember his life as Hermes? Hermes wasn't Ammon. Hermes... Or maybe? Van Daniel... Did he remember his life as Hermes? I believe he had his own reasons. There is no evidence to suggest that he retained memories of his former life. He only joined the Asians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea with such fervor? This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls like minds have a personality, so to speak, a natural disposition towards which they are inclined? We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Alag that moved him on to resurrect Emperor Zonde. The Emperor's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Zonde's return, Amon provided these languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have, had not Zonde been convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived, but could never bring himself to believe that those lived lives were devoid of meaning, and both of them sought that meaning, that hope, in the distant stars. Such is my theory, anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequences of their actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment, and yet, to reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the ends of creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting, that much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Kokol is getting on? Phew, I can feel those flames ablazing from here. Glad you found someone capable, Graha, but there's not much left for you to do. Unless you can conjure up that refined adamantite fanny faster. I do trust you to deliver on promise, I do, only... I hate waiting! I want that adamantite and I want it now! We, share your impatience, I assure you. Is there truly nothing else we can assist with in the meantime? I wish. This sitting about's unbearable. Pity the forum frowns on recreational explosions. Well, as long as they can't prove it was premeditated. Get you going? I've mistakes to make. In that case, I suppose I should go and return the key to the reactor. I'll have one more look to make sure that nothing has gone wrong, unintentionally or otherwise. I'm certain there are better uses for your time, however. I will join you in Charlene Hamlet anon.
All set, I take it?
We finished what we could. Delivered supplies, tracked down escaped animals. Trivial tasks as they may be.
That's enough, don't you think? If there was anything more important still undone, that would be a problem in itself.
The vessel is essentially ready for departure. All that remains is to load the final batch of supplies and see everyone on board. Once we've readied the ether burner, that is.
Ah, had a feeling we might find you all here.
Our consultations with the Loperites, too, have run their course. Pleased I am to say that our researchers' concerns have, for the most part, been allayed, though some insist on making adjustments to the very end. For their part, Livingway and her peers have graciously offered to stay and keep the people company, lest any lingering queries go unanswered.
All that remains is to wait for the refined adamantite.
Alphano, are you there? It's me, Cryo. Your special delivery has arrived. Round up everyone and come to the harbor at once.
Speak of the devil. Let us go at once.
Forgive the intrusion, Master Fortuner. I bring urgent news. A great commotion has broken out in Scholar's Harbor. Your presence is requested, with all speed.
Now, where might this delivery be? Oh.
What in the seven hells is all that?
I'm sure it's very important, but we cannot accept these without the proper permits.
By the 12! Surely, these can't all be.
Bleeding hellfire! They're bringing them by sea and by air. All these folks in these crates.
Is that the Adamantite already?
And more on the way. Got your Adamantite right here. A bigger haul than any of these sorry bastards brought, and that's no lie.
Yes, because you were charged with seeing the shipments from Gridania and Uldar here, along with your own. Give credit where credit is due.
Sounds like the sorry whinging of a sore loser. An hypocrite to boot. Ain't no way a scrawny whelp like you took a dozen steps inside a Adamant shard.
I'll have you know I went all the way to the entrance. I played a vital role in keeping a lookout whilst our expeditionary forces secured the Adamantite.
Left you outside so you wouldn't get anyone killed, did they? Well then, credit where credit's due, you did a right fine job sitting on your ass.
Take that back.
Make me.
I will not stoop to your level.
My, what a grand welcome party. Hancock and Saraban. We come bearing relics both sacred and elegant, as well as a few other gifts that may be of help, to be presented with best wishes from the Eastern Alliance.
I myself have come with a sacred relic of the Kojin. Upon learning of your need, Bunchin bade me deliver it on behalf of the Blue with all haste. Fearing I could not swim here with the necessary speed, however, I thought to beg our Confederate allies for aid. To my delight, Hancock was already preparing for departure at the self-same port, and had space for additional cargo.
We did, of course, need quite the impressive vessel to get it all here in time.
That is all wonderful to hear, but what of the extraordinary cost? I shudder to think of the ransom we must pay for such a bounty.
Fret not for your coin purse, young Alphino. Lord Lolorito looks ever towards the profits of the future, and thus the East Aldenard Trading Company went to some lengths to reduce the financial liability. And since the Scions funded the entire venture, not a gill need be rendered up in compensation. Everything is already yours.
We funded the venture? When?
Goddamn fucking cutie.
This coinkeeper knows a thing or two about spending. When it comes to capital investiture, a sprinkling of gil here and there will not do. You need enough savings to make waves when it really counts, which is why frugality is paramount. We also have the benefit of a generous patron. Generous being rather an understatement. She has supported us from the shadows since the very founding of the Scions. We even had coffers to fill.
Mmm.
Mother!
Millions.
I remain, of course, an entirely neutral party. I simply thought our family's coffers were needlessly full. We can hardly take them with us on your teeny-tiny toy boat, now can we? And would be ashamed to leave all that hard-earned wealth unspent. Waste not.
However did you manage so much in so short a time, though? We expected word to reach only a fraction of our allies.
Did I not tell you I have my ways?
Erenville, you were involved too.
I received a letter from Cryle after we parted ways in Labyrinthos. She explained what the Scions were trying to accomplish, and why you might soon require the services of the Gleaners, spread across the world as we are. I pray you do not interpret this as a betrayal of Charlie. I accept that the Forum's aim in pushing us to our limits was to preserve what knowledge we have, and I bear you no ill will for it. Yet, in collecting that knowledge, what I came to appreciate most about our star is that there remains so much we do not know. That is why I chose to help the Scions, to combat the obliteration of those countless undiscovered wonders. I held no illusions that they would be less demanding taskmasters, though, rest assured, if I had, I would have been sorely disappointed. To make a long story short, the whole of the guildship cooperated to ensure your call was heard far and wide.
What's this about a ship that can fly to the moon? And why didn't you mention it sooner? The one time you don't beg my aid, your problems are bloody...
I know, we should have been the first person we went to.
See it? You brought the team. Of course. Garland Ironworks' finest. You need only point us towards my new favorite ship.
As you like us not suspect, we've also brought Adamantite from Mordona's Dalamud Shard. I admit to some consternation upon first receiving Kryl's message. So few Scions remain at the Rising Stones now, far too few for such an expedition. However, the Gleaners were able to secure us reinforcements. Idleshire's treasure hunters, not least among them. I know. How the Gobbyfrock fought. Slowfix's gratitude for the safe return of his daughter has not waned, and he gathered his kin to our side with an astounding quickness. The clash between their machina and the Allegan defences was a sight to behold. I wager even you would have been impressed by the magnitude of the Gobby booms.
Fascinating as all this is, I fail to see how it explains your presence here. Does Razat Han not have more pressing concerns?
We do. Yet averting the final days would be the most expedient solution. That, and I am indebted to you. Though they chose to take their leave of Thavnair, those you saved in Galimund remain my people. My gratitude is beyond words. 'Tis appropriate that I aid you in kind. If in the doing we bring salvation to others of this star, so much the better. You will recall that I spoke of my father, Midgard Summer, and his journey across the great expanse. As he traveled betwixt the stars, his resplendent scales drank of the ether in those nigh empty surrounds, and imparted to him the strength to persevere. Thinking they might further your cause, I called out to my kin for consent. Ajdaya's answer was silence, as ever. Tiamat and Chris-Velgre, however, responded favorably to the suggestion. My sire, too, gave his assent. Thus have I brought you his own worm scales. Fit them to your purpose, and seek a worthier fate for us all.
You'd be hard-pressed to find someone else so familiar with the unique properties of dragon scales. So I invited myself along.
Gee, this is so unbelievable. I've gone right back round to believing it again. Forget a 6% gain in efficiency. Of all these goodies, we could get 7, no, 10, no, 14 bleeding percent. Think of how far we could go. What we could do with that much power. What we could blow up.
If Kokol is duly convinced, then it must be true. In which case, the science end of the bargain has been fulfilled. Would you not agree?
Yes, Father?
I know not what you seek of Heidelin, nor for what purpose you would take command of our ship. Yet this much is certain. To do so will be to dictate the fate of this star and the lives upon it, the lives of each and every creature, in their magnitude and their fragility. Do you understand? And are you prepared?
We have seen and we have felt how much each life shapes this world. And so we are determined to abandon none. We understand what is at stake, and we are prepared to bear this burden.
Then I will bear it with you. I beg you, share your struggles with me, as family.
Why does this game always make you hate people and then make you not hate them? The fuck?
You grasped my fingers with such tiny hands the day you were born. I thought my heart might burst. It was love and happiness beyond expression. Overwhelming. And a conviction so powerful that I trembled with something close to rage. I had heard the final days foretold. I swore to myself then and there that I would not let them steal your futures. The great exodus would succeed, must succeed. No sacrifice or sin was worse than the alternative. If anything gave me pause, 'twas mine own father. The Archon Louisois openly decried Charlian's policies, a perspective which I regarded with increasing disdain as I grew older. Yet even as part of me thought him a fool, perhaps I also hoped that he, of all people, would devise a brilliant means to save my children. A naive hope, but stubborn enough that I could never bring myself to keep you apart. No, that was his doing, when he perished at Cartano. As we pulled that twisted slab of Dalamud from the sea, I remembered the warmth of your newborn touch. Chastened, I vowed never again to suffer any interference in my mission to protect you. No matter that you yourselves wished otherwise. Detest me, fight me tooth and nail, I would suffer it, and more, and be satisfied so long as I could force you onto the ship. I was wrong. You two have grown so much stronger and so much wiser than I dared dream. You have earned the right to walk your own path.
and already begun to do so.
Good. Because there are things we care about, and people we love, and none of them is replaceable. Not a one.
It cannot have been an easy journey for you to have come so far.
We shall be glad to acquaint you with the finer details someday, once this danger has passed. All that we have seen and heard, that we have felt and learned in our travels. Ours is not a kind world, but it is beautiful. Always.
Oh no. Are you quite sure that's wise? After all, someone turns pale and flees the room when he sees so much as an envelope containing word of your adventures. Whatever will happen if he learns what you were really up to?
Amelians. Though I have wronged my children most gravely, I owe you an apology as well. I assumed that it was the Scion's influence that made them so keen to charge headlong into danger. Yours, in particular. I see now that said influence instead brought them together with the many fine people gathered here today. In which case, I hope you continue to guide them.
If we've finished loitering about the harbor, might I suggest we put our plans into motion? People are beginning to look confused.
Perhaps you can spare a few words ere they resume the tedious lugging of cargo. You have no small number of friends and admirers here after all.
Damn, look at everybody. Avengers? That's what it feels like. Our moment of triumph is close at hand.
Your assistance is appreciated. Now, in an orderly fashion, if you please.
Miss Van Veet! I don't know. I don't fucking know, dude. It's hype, alright? Music go hard. It's snowing! We finally managed to clear the harbor, which means the rest is in the engineer's capable hands. Meanwhile, Father has issued to us an invitation. As was agreed, he will reveal the means by which Heidelin may be contacted. We ought to meet him at Emporia when we're ready. Given the vital knowledge she holds, I suggest we leave without delay. It transpires, however, that the forum's method for speaking with her is not without risks. I'm curious to hear what those might entail, but regardless, be warned. Most of those who arrived with the Adamantite have offered to stay and see to any remaining tasks that need doing. The forum has already asked for my assistance in overseeing the process, so you needn't worry about a thing. Thank you, Tataru. We're off to Emporia then. Bum 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 bum. Talk to Tataru. We never get to talk to you, Tataru. I don't want any of you getting hurt, but I do hope you'll wring as much information out of Heidelin as you can. For all we know, this is the one and only opportunity we'll get. Boom 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 boom. Boom 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 boom. Dun dun dun, 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 dun. MSQ, I have already shown the others inside. You will want to speak with Clary Lane. She has the key to the lift and can send you down after me. Clary Lane. You're with Master Fortunat, yes? Just step inside the lift here. From here, we proceed to the heart of Labyrinthos and its most closely guarded secret, Thermazine. It marks the beginning and end of our efforts, whence we delved to seek audience with the star, whence we will embark on our journey to the heavens. This way, if you please. I bid you welcome to Thermazine. Direct your attention toward its center to behold the ark over which we have long labored. As you can see, it was designed as a medium-sized craft, the better to reduce fuel consumption. Miniaturizing magics have been applied to its interior to ensure that the thrust-to-weight ratio does not place too great a limitation on its freight capacity. The Aether Burner, as you know, has been removed for further modification, but we shall retouch it soon enough. I have received word that Kokol and several of your allies are working on it with intense fervor. They are sure to see it done. It was by their expertise that many a prior disaster we averted. If anything, I fear they will not afford us much time for speaking with Heidelin ere they finish. Point taken. Let us move on. I must warn you again, however, that even with the benefit of our device, to treat with her is not a simple feat. I have done what I can to impress upon you the gravity of what lies ahead. Are you prepared? We make for the lift at the center of this chamber. Come. This way? Nope. As you all know, alongside our physical world exists an ethereal plane, what we refer to as the ethereal sea. At the heart of the star, the physical and ethereal are one and the same. Thus, the deeper we go, the easier it becomes to pass between said planes. We utilize this principle in constructing the anti-tower, and once more here in Thamazine. No sooner did the Forum decide that an exodus from the star would be necessary than it began work on this facility. Our work culminated in a device that allowed us to peer deeper into the ethereal sea than ever before, in search of Heidelin's ever fainter echoes. The Aetioscope. And you communicate with her through this device? For a time, yes, but since the 7th Umbral Calamity, it has been rare to hear even a whisper. If you wish to reach her, you must journey closer to the center of the star than we have ever dared, beyond the Aetioscope. Even so, I make no guarantee that you will find her, nor of your safety, not so deep in the ethereal sea. We understand, but if we are to deliver this world, we have no choice but to try. I know. I only wish to do more than observe your progress from afar. The Aetioscope's ocular lens, by which we may peer into the ethereal sea without placing ourselves at hazard, lies above us. Through it, we can watch and guide you. In those swirling depths, there are pockets of aether so dense and turbulent that they can unravel one's soul. If we determine that you are at risk of coming into contact with such a pocket, we will recall you with teleportation magics. To that end, it would be best if one familiar with the composition of your souls remained here to assist in assessing said risk. Otherwise, there is an increased probability that we will extract you too early or too late. Gratia? Oh, Grau, please allow me. I have thought upon this much, and in truth, I do not believe that I am fit to join you in the trials ahead. The events at the Tower of Babel jarred me, yes, but even before that, your capabilities far outstripped my own. This is no time to have a weak link in our vanguard, no matter how much she may wish it to otherwise. If I assist in the manner that Master Fauchelevent has laid out, however, I will still be of use. Will you trust in me to do so? I can think of none other that trust more, compared to all that effort you put into keeping us alive while so as were in the first. Preventing us from dissolving into aether on a singular expedition ought to pose no challenge at all. And even if we did, I expect you would hunt us down and restore us to health somehow. You flatter me, but rest assured that I will be keeping a close eye on all of you. There is one more thing. Those in ages past referred to the ethereal sea as the underworld, our final resting place. In its embrace is memory washed away, leaving only the purity of one's soul, or so we believe. Yet what of these memories? Few think to ask what becomes of them, cast adrift on ethereal tides. Some theorize they linger for some time, those associated with strong sentiment in particular. In those depths, memories of the departed may even coalesce around you for hatred or for love. Thus do I caution you to be wary, but also to have faith. Remember those who did gladly extend a hand to you, that they may lift upon you once more. Oh. Shit. We're jumping into it. Let's go. Who we taking? We got so many options. We're gonna try to get Alphinaud to be our healer. Yeah. Actually, Rianje. And then I love taking Graha and Alisei. Oh wait, I can have you as my healer. Let's do Justinian. There we go. That's what we want. Oh, this is the Aetioscope.
All seems in order with the lens, and I trust you can hear me.
Now I know why we're in here.
Those things are pure malcontent, the residue of lives unfulfilled.
underestimate me!
You underestimated me!
This will hurt.
Ilberd? Oh, not you.
Allow me.
In a rush of familiar wisdom, the memory of a principled scion takes form.
You underestimate me!
Now that was... Could be Papalimo? I think that was Papalimo because it was also Ilberd. That goes hand in hand. I was thinking it could be Louis Swab, Archon Louis Swab, but I think it was Papalimo. Because he also used it. Wait, Livia, the undeterred Livia, like Livia? She says, "You cannot take this from me. Never will I surrender my devotion, my love." Yeah, that is the Livia. From Praetorium, not Praetorium, or whatever it's called.
Allow me. You're mine.
You underestimate me.
Do you love how...
It will guide you.
I do love how this is just like a culmination, and it's just wrapping up the story that we've gotten so far up until this point so nicely. It's such a nice little package because, like, from everybody coming together to helping all the scions, the contingent, the Grand Company of Eorzea, and then like even here where you go into the Ethereal Sea and you see Ilberd, you see Papalymo, you see Livia, and it's like it's just a nice little wrap. It all just like sort of wraps together. It's wrapping up nicely. Everything's coming back around and stuff. I love it. I love it. Who had the axe? That's Archon's memory. I think that's Moonbrita. I think that's Moonbrita. No, Moonbrita had that was Moonbrita, right? That is Horshafont. Yeah, I think it was Moonbrita.
Allow me.
Who do we have now? Does my life belong to the Empire? In death I shall serve. Oh, this was the shield dude. That's why he looks like that. Fuck, that's crazy. That's insane. All the bosses are the fucking Empire people from A Realm Reborn. Well, we won't be seeing Gaius and Nero because they're with us. So I wonder who's going to be after this. Do you see that light? Alright, I'm gonna do something unorthodox here, alright? We're about to hit an hour. We've still got the dungeon, we've still got the final boss, and we still have post-dungeon cutscenes. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this section here. We'll catch you in the next one. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you.